We are live, back at it. BS with the Guys show. Lot of crazy shit going on this week. Couldn't even keep up with all the damn news. Every time I turned around, I'm like, all right, we got what we're going to talk about. And then boom, something else breaking. Something else breaking, man. The last kind of breaking that I saw was old Bongino, deciding he's had enough of the FBI, wants to resign, calling it quits. Can't say I blame him. It don't look like it's a fun job at all,
What you think that's behind, man? Why?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, man. You got any speculations on what you think, might be the reason? Because that's the big question on everybody's mind right now. Like why? And I think you could probably, figure it out. As far as it's just the fucking job itself has to suck compared to what Bongino was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm sure it's money has something to do with it. He was making more money on a podcast, I'm sure, in his shows. But I don't know. Maybe you think it could be the lack of prosecutions and people not being brought to justice.
I think you hit on a big one. I mean, the man built up, a damn near $160 million, media freaking empire before he decided to do this. You know what I mean? So there were some sources that were indicating that he was starting to get things shipped back over to Florida, which is where he was based out of. And now this could be good as far as Bongino being a big voice for these midterms that are coming up.
Sure.
Getting back at what he is good at doing, which is firing up that base, that MAGA base. So it could be, he could be better served doing that. You know what I mean? Or better served in doing that. A lot of other things I was hearing about was maybe some internal clashes that were going on, a lot over this Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned it, about just nothing happening at all with prosecutions. Where somebody like Bongino went into it, with the mindset of I'm going in there to kick ass and take names. You know what I mean? Right. And then he gets in there and then he realizes, well, I guess that's not how shit works around here. So it could be that, he may just be over all that bullshit.
Or could it be health reasons, maybe?
Well, yeah, because wasn't he fighting?
I think he had, was it leukemia or lymphoma or something like that?
I think it was lymphoma, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I don't want to misspeak on it, but I know it was something, like that he did have some health issues. So it could be, and it might just be too taxing on him. He may just be done with all of it. He did an interview not too long ago, and you could just see the frustration on his face because it's like he said, he's basically in a little prison all day, staring at four walls, missing his family. Missing, I guess, your normal life. So I don't know if maybe it just got in over his head. Not that Bongino can't handle high pressure situations. I mean, the man's a badass, but it might have been a little bit more than he signed up for once he got into it. I mean, it's a tough job. You know what I mean? Everybody's pointing fingers at you. I mean, everybody's looking at you for answers when it comes to, these high profile cases that you're supposed to be locking people up behind. And then when you get in there and realize that it's just not that easy of a task because of what you're fighting to get justice done. It's tough.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Now,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, what the reason is. I kind of think he is. It's just, look, he's done his part with Secret Service, and he was asked to do this, and I think he said, I'm going to give it a shot. But it even has me a little pissed off that nobody's being brought to light. Nobody's being really prosecuted for crimes that we know that are out there, So, and interesting to see.
Right, and I'm thinking that, it may be more towards that with Bongino leaning towards the, just not happy with how things run.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? When you actually get to look behind the curtain. And I didn't take Bongino as a person that was just, going to get in there and just play along with this bullshit system because he was always against that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we gave him shit with the Epstein stuff, but let's face it. I mean, a lot of it's out of his hands.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot more powerful people behind this shit than Dan Bongino.
Yep.
So I think, me personally, I'm leaning towards that. He was just over it. He was just over the bullshit, but he didn't want to make an ugly exit. So I noticed even Trump was giving him praise which is rare when you leave Trump. You know,
Yeah, right.
Now,
That the truth,
like I
yeah.
said, right, and it could have been discussed. Hey, look, you go do your thing, get back at your podcast, and let's build that back up, and let's fight for these midterms. You know, so I think Trump could really benefit from keeping him as an ally, opposed to pushing him away with these nasty, target just hits that he likes to do on people when they are no longer his quote unquote friends.
Yes, exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see. But no, interesting. Something else caught my eye, before we get into these bigger, these bigger stories that have been going on. But I know Elon Musk is on that "don't worry about saving your money" kick. AI's got us all covered.
Hell yeah.
And I'm thinking, from the way he sees it, I hope I'm in the workforce long enough to benefit from this shit if it's true. You know what I mean? Because, his vision is basically that universal high income, not basic income. He thinks that the way that this AI is going between these little robots, that these Teslas, like these little Optimus robots and all that shit, that they're going to be eliminating the need for human labor, creating, sustainable just abundances of goods to where nobody's hurting for anything. So his vision is more like work is kind of optional, almost like it's a hobby, so you get to do what you want to do in life, opposed to being forced to go to work every day to pay bills. Now, will we ever see that? I don't know. I sure hope so. I want it to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I say we just count on it. Let's just all quit our fucking jobs. Elon's got us.
I wish Elon had us. He's got enough. He could have us.
That's funny. All this no work talk, is easy coming from somebody worth over $600 billion. You won't have to worry about money, and it's like, you got enough to support all of us now. Like, what are we waiting on?
Isn't that the truth?
What the fuck are we waiting on,
Ah, damn, dude.
What's up, Matt? How you doing, Matt? You see Matt in them comments there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, nothing new, man. They can't find this damn shooter at this Brown University for some fucking reason. I don't know what they got,
dude. Yeah,
and it's they're catching a lot of heat for the way that they've handled the investigation over there. I mean, they said over 800 cameras or something on campus, and they can't get a good fucking surveillance video of this person. I mean, it's crazy. I don't get it.
I mean, some of the videos you see with the door cameras look better than what the university is,
Thank you.
able to provide. It's crazy. It's freaking nuts.
Do they have a clue at all who he is?
The internet's doing more work than it seems like the law enforcement is, which, that's a joke. I'm sure law enforcement's busting their ass. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes with all of that. But they're not releasing any kind of information as far as if they even have a hint. Yeah. Now, there was a lot of pointing going towards a gentleman, a student there. I don't want to say his name because it's just, accusations that are being thrown out. But he's a activist and a Palestine refugee. He wound up he's got heavy focus on the university removing online pages of his, basically. Is how I can word that. As soon as all this went down and his name started spreading, they took his page down, his profile off of their website. So now the school was justifying that by saying it's once his name started getting out there that they were doing that for his safety, because people were starting to dox him. But when you look at the comparisons to the video and the way that this little pudgy guy was built, it sure resembles him more than the original person that they threw in there, which was just your, average, skinny white guy that they were like, yep, he did it. Me and Justin were on here the other night talking about how the left couldn't wait to celebrate when they thought they arrested a white person for this shooting.
Oh, I can imagine.
And that's not to say white people never do any never do any crazy shit like this. That's not what I was saying. I didn't want people to think that's what we were talking about. It's just more of how, they just can't wait because the last thing they want is to be proven right that people that are coming from certain regions of the world have no good intentions.
Absolutely.
Coming over here, you know, and with their open border policies, the last thing they want to do is have to admit that. So they fucking celebrate if it's a native white person. They're like, fuck yeah, you know, and it
Instantly.
looks like right, and it almost looks like it's going the other way now. I mean, they released another photo of a person of interest that was in the same area with the original person that they're looking for, and from the pictures, he seems to be a little tan. Let's put it that way, you know. So it looks more and more that it's starting to lean towards exactly what people said in the beginning, that this is, you know, this is one of them Islamic fucking just another terror attack, because they still keep pleading the fifth basically when authorities are asked about what this guy screamed before he started shooting, because witnesses are saying he screamed Allah Akbar. Now they won't confirm nor deny that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. The whole thing's looking crazy. People just aren't happy with how the investigation is going right now. And I guess I can't blame them, because this guy's on the fucking loose, you know?
Right. There's no audio on any of the camera footage?
There ain't nothing, or they're not releasing it. That's part of what people are bitching about. All these cameras. And there's nothing of this person entering the school. There's no video of him inside of it. It's just some grainy ass Bigfoot looking fucking, you know, photo that they're releasing, and that's the best they have out of all of these cameras. It doesn't, and that's what makes people go, you know, down these conspiracy rabbit holes, is when you're not telling us anything that really makes fucking sense, because it doesn't make sense to me that they can be that heavily surveilled on that campus and not have any better footage than what they're releasing to the public. It's crazy. And then, you know, it goes there and targeted the vice president of Brown's College Republicans, Ella Cook. So, you know, they're starting to kind of, you know, push towards the leftist views, and, you know, it's just not looking like it's going to work out too good for these Democrats that were celebrating in the beginning, you know, which to celebrate anything in a crisis like this is just crazy to me. But
it's nuts.
You know, when you get political, they seem to do it. So.
Oh yeah, you gotta, you know, that white domestic terrorism.
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of them that they still run with that it's the, you know, the most dangerous thing going on in the country right now. You know, it's just this white supremacy that I look around. I don't see it much, but, you know, maybe I'm in the wrong area. I don't know.
We got to move around a little bit, dude.
We got to get out more. Huh? We got to get out more. I'm with you. Well,
that was the same thing with the, was it an MIT professor too, was gunned down?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking, pull up this photo here for you guys. Let's see. Let's do this here. This is the latest of what they're giving us right now. So this is the new guy that they're looking for. They want to speak to this individual. He was in the proximity of the original person. Now, like I said, it's hard to tell because of the grainy footage, but he doesn't look like a Caucasian male. If you really look at that, what you can see of the face, you know, the features and the characteristics of the face, it doesn't look. Now, this guy may have nothing to do with what went on, but they're releasing this photo for a reason. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So usually where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire. So, you know, that's what I mean. It looks like they're kind of narrowing down a little bit, you know, on what they think went on, but they're only going to release so much information, of course, because that's just, you know, what they do during these investigations. So, but no, I got faith. I think something's going to break here soon. I was expecting it by tonight before we even went live, you know.
Yeah.
I just think there's so much pressure, and there's going to be so much pressure on whoever did this. Somebody knows. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Somebody fucking knows. So it's only a matter of time. I want to say there's like 50 grand, you know, right now up for grabs. So it's coming. I wish I knew.
Like, go on, dude.
But we were speaking just a few minutes ago about the the Democrats' narrative of pushing how detrimental white supremacy and all this bullshit is to the country, to the safety of the country. And then I hear Jasmine Crockett's dumbass on CNN. 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are from white supremacists. Well, where do you you just get on TV and spit out numbers, and there's no fact behind that.
None at all.
You know what I mean?
Accountability, dude. None.
There's not a single fact that backs up what this woman gets on television and says. And it's not just right. It's not the white people, because then I would even say, well, maybe because there's so much more of us. But when it's the white supremacists that are just running around, like where the fuck are all these people at? We always say it. We're down here in the South, and I don't know a white supremacist. I've been here my whole fucking life.
Not one of them.
I don't know them. I mean, I know some rednecks that are a little more racist than the average person, but they're not white supremacists, and they're not out there committing these violent crimes that the Democrats want you to know about. They're just idiots, getting drunk and running their mouths.
I like being able to make up numbers.
Damn straight.
Makes arguments easier.
We'll start making some up. Fuck it. They do it.
All right, I'm going to write a book of made up shit.
They do it. What else is going on, Justin? What's going on in your world, bro? What's I know your auntie Candace Owens, she's been making some news lately. What the hell was going on with her and Erika Kirk, man? They had a little powwow.
Yeah, apparently they had a little meeting, a little sit around a table, and from what I gather, she has, I guess, kind of flipped on what she was thinking, but at the same time still doesn't believe that whatever weird dude's name is actually shot Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
so she's not buying it fully. She said that the lawyer was basically trying to convince her. She was like, why do y'all think that it's him? Like, what evidence do you have? And she said that he basically produced nothing more than what the public knows. And so she's like, well, but that's what I'm telling you is fishy as fuck, because the evidence that's been out there so far doesn't convince me that he was the actual shooter. So
yeah, because from what I understand, they sat down for about 4 hours, supposedly trying to work out this, shit or whatever that this little tiff they've been having because of Candace Owens going off the rails.
Yep.
Now, I watched a video today of her agreeing with somebody in a roundabout way, kind of agreeing that it could have been explosive device on his, on it, like a necklace he was wearing. And I'm like, what is wrong with this woman? What the fuck is wrong with her? I mean, look, and I get it. I guess if your job is to get as many views as you can, I guess you just go off the rails and start saying outlandish shit. But it's like sometimes it's like there's a line, and it's like she hasn't stopped with this shit, man. I mean, when you start talking about it and necklaces exploding and and all this shit, and I'm like, don't agree with these idiots online. I mean, the dude, look, man, it's the dude was shot. You know what I mean? Probably by this nutcase, and it's probably going to end there. I mean, everybody wants it to be more exciting than it is. It's probably going to end right there.
Well, Candace doesn't believe it. All right?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. But I don't think much came from this meeting myself. I mean, I believe she's still going to be going with the nonsense because it's what sells.
Yeah, I think so, because she really didn't I guess completely cut it out. She apparently had some good words for Erika Kirk, and I think that was about the only swap that she had. She I guess doesn't believe that Erika Kirk was involved and that Turning Point was involved, but she still doesn't believe that Buddy was the actual shooter. And so,
well, and look, and it all sounds great, because even if they're going to convict this kid of this, right?
Sure.
And it still doesn't have to stop there if you're a Candace Owens or anybody who's making this kind of content, because all you have to keep saying is, I don't believe he did it. I don't believe he did it. I have sources that tell me this. I have sources that tell me that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so this could just go on forever and ever and ever until people just say, I ain't listening to that nonsense no more. I mean, you see cases like that all the time. You know, people get convicted, but, you know, we always like to think there's more to it because it makes it more exciting. And then look, in some cases there is. You know, it's kind of like with going all the way back to the JFK shit. I mean, we all know now Lee Harvey Oswald was a small part of that. Yeah. But that was the one they convicted for, done. In their eyes, a done, case closed. You know, so I guess, you know, had nobody really kept prying on that, the truth might not have ever come out, which it's never officially come out, but we all know what happened. You know, we know who took out JFK. It's not a secret anymore. But I think in this, like I said, I just, the whole necklace is exploding. And, you know, the one of the original ones, you know, they were showing that video of some guy right there on the front row moving his hand or something. Yes. And I'm thinking, so this guy's standing right there by a crowd of fucking people. Right. And nobody ever said the dude next to me shot. Like I heard the gun. You know what I mean? Like nothing. It's just so dumb. You know
that and like so the guy behind Charlie Kirk was the shooter. You know, and
yeah,
man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard of the behind one. Yeah. You know, and it's just. I wish she would just let that shit go, man. Let it go.
Let it lay, dude.
You know what she needs? I'm gonna tell you what she needs. She needs some marijuana.
Oh, probably.
And speaking of that, let's segue into the marijuana story that we got. I know Trump is talking about, I guess, downgrading it as far as the I don't know, what do you call that? The level of
the schedule of it.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Right. Now I have seen an increase of war on marijuana lately, coming from all kind of different angles. The media's on it, you know, and then you start to wonder what's behind that, you know, who's behind that. And with Trump doing what he's about to do, are these alcohol or these pharmaceutical companies afraid, you know what I mean, to lose a little bit of the edge that they have when it comes to being able to legally give people a product that can fuck them up? You know what I mean? Because it just seems like ever since Trump started talking about that, the attacks. I'm seeing articles pull up now about how dangerous marijuana use can be, and you know THC. You know, studies show that THC, you know, heart and all this shit. That it's like, where's this coming from? You know,
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like with the alcohol, like I feel like Budweiser kind of already has a really good name to transfer into the weed business. You know, get some
that's a good. Look at
you
that.
know? See?
I like that. See, you always
I should be head of marketing.
You should. The Budweiser. Yeah, it's like they might just join in. Yeah. You know, but I really do. I think the attacks in these studies are paid for by people that are afraid of losing a little bit of the profit that they've been able to make and capitalizing on, you know, people's will to get fucked up on, you know, whatever they can. A lot of it is pills with these pharmaceuticals. A lot of it's alcohol. I mean, I'm drinking a beer right now. You know what I mean? So the first thing that come to my mind when I saw that, and I'm thinking, when you start to really know how a lot of this shit works and how these big companies, especially pharmaceutical companies, how, you know, the last thing they need is a natural way to cure people's depression and anxiety and PTSD and anything that marijuana has sort of been known to help. Now, it's not for everybody, but, you know, it does a lot of good for people that are willing to try it, that have some issues with pain and shit like that. So, I mean, it's like one thing the drug manufacturers can't say, and alcohol, is zero recorded cases of fatal overdoses from their product. Well, cannabis can claim that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's been it's almost unachievable for a human to ingest enough a lethal dose of marijuana. It's like it almost can't even happen. But you can't say that with pills. You can't say that with alcohol. Yeah. But yet there's still this war on it, you know, and it's got to be stemming from a money standpoint. It's the only thing that makes sense.
I just don't understand why you wouldn't, like, if anybody's got the money to like instantly start up an empire with weed, it's going to be the pharmaceutical companies and the alcohol companies and, you know, cigarette companies. Like, you would think they would be the first ones to be like, all right, build the grow house, let's go. You know, there's so much money in it.
And that's a good point. You're right. I mean, that is a good argument, that why fight it when they have the money to join in on it?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not, it just, you know, my thought on it may not be correct. That's just where my brain goes, because there's really, outside of being high, you know, and it may be a little fucked up in situations where you shouldn't be, like driving or something like that. There's not much harm marijuana's doing, but yet it's demonized like it's as bad as crack cocaine. You know, when, let's face it, alcohol is way worse. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Alcohol's worse. Of course, we know what these opioids and these pills do. I mean, that's not even a question. That, you know, we know that's way, to get hooked on something like that is way worse than a pothead. You know what I mean? But yet there's still some reason they're pushing this narrative to demonize this stuff. And
all about money.
Only thing I can think of is money.
It's all about
you
money.
know,
yeah.
It's got to be. But then it's to Justin's point, like, why not join in on it? I mean,
yeah, I just
don't know.
understand why they wouldn't. Because, like, I mean, you think about it, if like recreational weed became legal here, right? Us three, say we open up a shop here, is about the money that we've got. We could open a shop here. But if you're a billion-dollar corporation, you can open up multiple shops in every state that legalizes it as they legalize it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, from a business standpoint, you're right. But, I mean, there's got to be a reason that they're not getting into it.
Well, look at it like this. Look at it like this. So pharmaceutical companies get into the marijuana or THC business, because that's really where the healing end of it is in the THC. So they get into that, and then they realize, well, look, with just this little bit of THC, we can kind of curve and help, say, Parkinson's. Well, instead, so now we're putting THC out there, which is a small amount of product, versus how many Parkinson drugs are out there. Do you see where I'm coming from with that?
Yeah.
On the pharmaceutical? Yeah. So there's going to be more money on the medical pill side of stuff than there is probably on the THC. Do I think THC has great values? Yes, I think it can help in a lot of different ways, you know.
Well, right. So you're making a very good point. I mean, for all we know, this THC could be, you know, better for you than what a lot of people that argue for it even know.
Oh,
and the last thing pharmaceutical companies need is you finding that out by experimenting with it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because now the people that oppose it, they say states with legalized medical cannabis saw a 42.7% increase in CUD, the cannabis use disorder. So what the fuck is, you know, what is that? They're just making up shit. Like, what is a cannabis use disorder? Yeah. So this is one of the arguments about it. Now, you know, and they said in states where it's legalized, the rate of marijuana use disorder among young people grew 25% faster in non-legal states. Right. Well, I mean, making it legal doesn't mean you can't put stipulations on it. They let you walk into a place and buy fucking cigarettes that are full of tar and fucking
carcinogens,
you name it. Yeah, you name it. It's in a damn cigarette. Yeah. But they heavily watch and make sure you're not selling it to children. Don't mean kids can't get their hands on them, but there are laws to try to prevent it. So what is, that's not even a good point to try to argue why the shit shouldn't be legalized, you know? And then they say daily marijuana use doubles the risk of dying from heart disease. Okay. Well, what the fuck you think cigarettes do?
Absolutely.
You know, they can't make an intelligent argument that will ever convince me that there's any reason why this shit shouldn't be as legal as alcohol and cigarettes.
Yeah,
none.
And, I mean,
makes zero sense.
It should be more legal than cigarettes because they have absolutely no medical use.
No, exactly, none. And this is coming. This is coming from some. I don't even smoke the shit. I don't smoke. You know, I've done it in the past. It's just not my thing. I just think it's one of the dumbest fucking wars that this government continues to stay in is this fucking war on marijuana. It's so dumb. It makes no sense, but you know who's behind it, man. These sick fucking pharmaceutical companies that don't want people even having a chance to find out that, like you said, Brad, they may not have to live their entire life on a fucking pill. You know what I mean? That to me, that's kind of what shapes it all up.
Yeah.
All about
I just
the
feel
money,
like
bro.
you'd be limiting yourself though as a pharmaceutical company, you know? It's like if you sell like Brad brought up Parkinson's, right? Well, now your customer base is limited to the small fraction of the population that has Parkinson's compared to lobbying for legalization of weed, getting into it, and then you've got a huge customer base.
Sure.
No, and look, I mean, like I told you, that's a good argument. I mean, I get what you're saying, like, you know, make money from it, but I don't know. It's got to be deeper than that on why, because there's no reason to be so hell bent against, you know, letting this stuff, you know, not be totally fucking illegal now. And you could see the coordinated effort to attack it right now. Now that I pay attention to it, you know, because it caught my eye, and then now I'm starting to notice it more. And it's at the same time that Trump's talking about, you know, lowering the schedule, you know, as far as the, you know, how much trouble you get into, I guess, for having it or whatever, because it's still not going to be. You're right. They should. Well, they shouldn't have anything like that. It should just be, you know, regulated so minors, you know, have a hard time getting it. But that's it. That's all. Right. But you can see, like I said, go ahead.
The theory that I heard behind him lowering the schedule was so that they can do more research on it, basically.
More research, which they need to. They need to do it with that, and they need to do it with psilocybin, and they need to do it with these, you know, the mushrooms. They need to do it with all of it.
Yeah.
That people in other countries are allowed to experiment with, and a lot of it works wonders. You know, a lot of it's natural cures for ailments that people have. You know, and over in this country, they just refuse to get on board with that. And I just believe there's a big entity behind it with a lot of money to be lost if this stuff is allowed to be freely, you know, experimented with. But I did hear that too, like you said, you know, kind of lax in the law a little bit so they can at least try to see what kind of benefits this may have for people. So it's a good step towards it. You know, it's a good step, but it's just dumb that they'll let their, you know, people ingest these cigarettes and this alcohol and all this shit. And then when it's like, you know, weeds look like you're shooting up fucking heroin, you know, it's nuts. But
yep. Like I said, I think it's money. I think it's taxes. They can control the weed, cigarettes and alcohol. You can control that through taxes, but how do you control weed? And I know some states it's legal and it's taxed probably heavily, you know, but it's, and I do think there's a lot of cures to it. I'm not saying cures, but I think the whole THC market is just, I think it's wonderful, honestly. I think eventually it's going to be out there where you're going to find that it's going to be able to help you more if it's people that suffer from seizures or Parkinson's or whatever type of ailments that you might have, man. I really do. Yeah. And I think the pharmaceutical, they're scared to death of it, dude. They really are.
Of course
they are. And I'm kind of glad that it's kind of stuck in this middle, like getting legal, but still, because your big Walmarts and shit aren't picking it up, you know? Right. So it's still small businesses making money from it compared to great value granddaddy perp, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but how long until...
Well, exactly. I mean? That's what I'm saying. But we're kind of stuck in that era right now. So it's like, it's terrible, but the big corporations won't touch it. You know, but as soon as it's legal everywhere, you'll have Walgreens brand weed and Walmart brand weed. And then all small mom and pop stores are going to be gone.
That's a good point. Right now, at least they're the ones being able to profit off of this stuff right now. But you're right. Once it becomes, so to say, legal, that's it. The big guys are coming in and swallowing up the market.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you're gonna, you know, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Like, you'll be buying fucking, you know, dime bags from Walmart. You know, it's crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, even with stuff like vapes, like, I mean, there was a vape store on every fucking corner, and then the big guys came in, and it all transferred straight to gas stations, and that was a wrap. Vape stores closed.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah. Well, between the marijuana and the guns, it's something else. The government that's parts of the government at least are just hell bent on, stripping away from you. And of course, these Democrats are crying again about these gun laws, wanting stricter gun laws because that's going to solve everything. They mainly like banning these what they like to call assault weapons is one of the things they're shooting for, on top of checking everyone's background before buying a gun. Which, where don't they do that? Besides, I guess maybe gun shows and all, but anywhere you go purchase a brand new gun.
Yeah, and I mean,
even at gun
show,
Even
like,
at
good
gun
luck
shows,
going to a gun show and try to walk out without a background
No,
check.
it's got to be a person to person, citizen to citizen type, transaction in some states. I know here we can do that. We can just go buy a gun off from anybody and don't need paperwork.
But all the gun shows are overloaded by gun shops now.
Right.
There are no personal people setting up booths in there with their collection. So
True. Well, that's something that they're pushing for, which I'm not even 100% opposed to that. I guess is at least maybe checking out who's buying a gun. But then again, that's a slippery slope. I mean, maybe I'm looking at that wrong. Maybe they shouldn't even be doing that because it is your Second Amendment right. It's in the Constitution, to bear arms. Now, another thing that I really don't like is, they want to start letting courts take guns away from what they call risky people, which are these red flag laws.
Yeah.
So, who's going to be the one to start calling you risky? It's like, so that label gets thrown on you and then they're knocking on your fucking door,
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, it happens with the red flag laws now. All you got to do is, it just takes somebody to call in and say, hey, so-and-so's acting crazy, talking about, killing his family or some shit. And then it's pretty quick to get a judge's order to walk in there. They seize everything and then you have to go argue for it back. It's not, we're going to hold it for 2 weeks and bring it back to you. You got to go fight for it.
Yeah. So you have to go do it when it's your right to have it, I mean, it's crazy. And I think another thing that they're harping on is requiring safe storage. Not sure how I really feel. I mean, nope. I get it, nope. I get it as far as keeping it out of children's hands.
Yep.
But this requiring safe storage, well, how far do they take that? Like every gun you own?
Oh, yeah, they want them locked up in a safe, locked.
I don't want to be sleeping in my bed at night and my guns are locked away in my fucking safe.
Well,
and then I need it in the middle of the night.
It's true.
Yep. Right now, it's inches away from me every fucking night.
Yep.
So I get what they're getting at with this, but I just think that's a terrible thing to put on law-abiding citizens, which is what any of these rules do. That's all it does is affect law-abiding citizens.
Every time.
That's it. That's all it does. I mean, it's like the goal that they're after is good to stop gun violence. I get it. If we could, snap our fingers and the gun violence would stop, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But it just it shows that a lot of these ideas, though, they just break people's constitutional rights, and you can't do that in this country. The Constitution is there for a reason. I understand some people might not think it's perfect, but it's what our country runs on. It's what we do in America. And if you're that opposed to it, go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Go somewhere else where you think there's a better system. Go to Australia where you can't protect yourself at all. Yeah. And they're talking about cracking down even more now.
Oh, and they're going to.
And it was already one of the most regulated places in the world when it come to firearms. And it didn't fucking work. It didn't work. Two people were still out there slaughtering innocent people with the most strict gun laws in the fucking land. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work. It never does.
A way to do it. And did it?
Never.
I mean, not the shooting people part, but everything else was done legally. So it's like, they'll either find illegal guns, they'll steal them, or they'll figure out a way to get around the laws. And sure. Not everybody's first mass killing is after they're a felon,
Sure. But no, a lot of them aren't. I mean, think about it. A lot of these mass shooters, they don't even, some of them are on the radar, so to say, but they don't have a criminal record, a lot of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just, they fly under the radar and then one day snap. So, you know, I don't know, man. Like I said, a lot of these laws, they sound great on the surface, but then you start to realize that, you know, being somebody who follows the law, does their best not to break it, I shouldn't be punished for that and not be able to protect myself or my family.
Absolutely.
Because other people break the law. You know what I mean? It just doesn't sound right. And then, you know, the one they like to really, their rally cry is to ban assault weapons. Well, the problem with that is that term is usually based on what a gun looks like opposed to how it functions. You know what I mean? They like to throw that out there, and it's like, so when does that definition get broad? You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden, I mean, everything's a fucking assault weapon. I mean,
Everything.
This fucking phone right here is if I assault you with it, it was a fucking assault weapon. So where does that stop? You know?
Yep. It'll be every black gun with a trigger. Ban them.
Yeah.
Well, that's where
right. And then it'll turn into, the chrome plated ones are hurting people now.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we've got to get these off, you know, but,
Yeah, let's
and
get
of
rid
course,
these
you know,
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, of course, 86% of the Democrats that were polled, they want stricter laws. That's no surprise there. What surprises me is they're claiming almost up to 30% of Republicans don't mind these ideas. And I don't know if I believe that. I don't know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
You know? But even so, it's just not, like I said, it's not the country we live in. It's in our Constitution. It's the law of the land. It's what we go by. You don't like it, leave. Stop changing it like that to where it's going to affect every law-abiding citizen's life in a negative fucking way. It doesn't matter, because the real-world evidence shows that you know, tough gun laws, they don't lower violence. You know what I mean? I mean, these murders still happen in places with these strict rules, like we saw in Australia, like we see in every major fucking city in the country. You know, I mean, cities like Chicago and Baltimore over there, they were run by Democrats. You know, they're just tight controls. They still have high gun crime, which means, you know, these bad guys, so to say, find ways around these laws. I mean, we all know that.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because they just steal them.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true.
We just cannot let that happen. You cannot let any type of gun control in this country, because it doesn't stop with just, well, we just want to ban assault weapons, right? That's all we want to do. Then it's going to be, like y'all said earlier, then it's going to be, well, you know what? Now we find more of the crime is with pistols, automatic or semi-automatic pistols. And then it's like, well, you know, now we find more revolvers are killing people, you know? So it just, once you give them an inch, they're going to take the mile. And the day we lose our guns, we're going to be just like Australia and all these other countries around the world. We're going to be defenseless, man. You know, so can't let it happen.
It's true.
And look, and another thing is too, how do you stop that, dude? There's over Justin, 400 million guns on the streets of America, roughly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, how do you confiscate and collect all of those guns? It's just never going to happen. It would lead to, it would definitely lead to some type of revolt in this country if they go against guns like that.
Yeah, and honestly,
I think it would, for sure. I think people would freak the fuck out, and it'd be go time.
Look,
and
maybe
I think
these Northeast people or people out West that are, I don't want guns. If they saying 30% of Republicans and 80% or whatever it is of Democrats, it's not down here in the South. I just don't see that. I don't see it. And look, y'all can do what you want up there, but just don't infringe upon my rights. You know.
Well, they had you know, in Minnesota, Governor Walz over there, you know, Tampon Tim, he was coming out saying that 70% of people that were polled over there support the bans. Now, my first reaction to that was thinking, well, they probably called to take these polls in the middle of the day where all the conservatives in the area were probably at work doing something fucking constructive, so they couldn't answer the phone, you know. But then I'm thinking on a serious note, like, of course that's going to be 70% of the fucking idiot. They voted you in. You know what I mean? They voted Tim Walz in. So what does that say for the fucking area?
Exactly.
Like, why is it? So he's running on that. Like 70% of the people over here think it needs to happen. And like, well, fuck y'all. How about you doing in your state? You know, take all the fucking guns away.
Yeah,
fuck it. Or look, take them away from them 70% that voted for that. Go to their fucking house and make sure they don't have anything to protect themselves. Take their fucking knives, take their scissors, take their guns, you name it. If it's fucking pointy, take that shit from them.
Take it.
And then say, okay, well, you know, we don't want anybody to get hurt, so we're going to go ahead and confiscate all this.
Yep. Now everybody's safe from you.
Exactly. Now you can't hurt anybody. Your knives can't hurt anybody.
So true.
You know, your paper clips can't stick anybody. So, no, but another thing they don't really focus on a lot is, I mean, it's mental health, man. You know, these people are fucking crazy that do this shit. Yeah. It's nothing to do with the weapon they're using. Because we all say, I mean, it's been harped on, you know, of course, and it's like beating a dead horse, but they're going to find a way to do harm. If that's what's in their mind, in their soul, they're going to find a way to do it. They don't need a firearm, you know, and if my way to protect myself from that harm they're trying to inflict is a firearm, well, I'd like to have mine. It's
Absolutely. No, I do think there needs to be standards on what mental illnesses, like what diagnosed mental illnesses constitutes you losing your gun rights. Sure. And then psychiatrists and therapists and doctors need to be held responsible for not reporting to whatever agency needs to be reported to. And it just needs to fall down the line. If paperwork gets lost somewhere in translation, then whoever's the last person with their fingers on it, if this crazy motherfucker does get a gun legally and shoots up a fucking office building, then that person needs to be held responsible as well.
No, that's true. I mean, you know, I've got someone I know that was close to me that was threatening suicide and threatening to harm other people. Well, his psychiatrist ordered that his firearms be taken away. Well, then within 3 or 4 months or so, you know, they said he could have them back. Yeah. So suppose now after that he went out and did, you know, whatever he was threatening to do. And it's like you're saying, well, now the psychiatrist should be on the hook because that was somebody that was mentally unstable. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're having thoughts like that, well, you probably don't need to be around a firearm ever again in case those thoughts pop back up, you know? So, right. I mean, I agree. It's not, I'm not on here saying we don't need to do anything. I just think this stricter gun law shit and then labeling guns assault weapons, and that's the ones we're gonna, because they're always like, we're just talking about these wartime weapons. Like, what the fuck are you know, shut up, you know? Yep. It's like I think they love using these big buzzwords, you know?
Oh, absolutely. They want to scare everybody, you know? But no, I think it does need to start in psychiatrist offices and school therapists and shit. Like, definitely if you're on these like super mood altering fucking stabilizers, like that needs to be red flag number 1, you know?
Sure. Yeah, it should be. Cause I mean, and look, you know, some people would argue that point that you can't just go taking away everybody's, you know, means of protection because they have a little bit of mental, you know, breakdown or something. But I mean, if that's what a lot of people are calling the root cause of a lot of this shit that goes on, you know, is the mental, you know, mental illness part of it. Well, then something needs to be done with that. You know, right. Now, granted, it still doesn't fix the problem where a lot of these shootings are taking place in these inner cities. You know, whether it be drug, you know, turf wars or gang wars. Well, that's not mental illness.
Yeah, but that's not the deaths that the left cares about, though.
No, it's not at all, because you don't ever see them out there rallying and protesting and stop the violence, you know, and it's always, they love to bring up this mass shooting because I just think it hits home more when it happens in places like a school, in a suburban area, something that doesn't really see this, because then they know, oh, we can scare these suburban moms now. That could be little Tommy at school. You know, let's run with that. That's how they think. They don't give a fuck about, you know, the black on black violence that's going on in these inner cities. They don't care because that doesn't resonate enough, you know, so they don't use that to their advantage. If they really gave a fuck, they'd all be posted in these cities trying to stop that shit, you know. But instead, they fight it when somebody like Trump says, hey, we're going to send in help to stop all the bullshit you got going on over there.
Mm-mm,
Then
that's
they
racist.
Fight, yeah, fuck that. That's all racist. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's nonsense. But you know, like I was saying, that's not so much mental illness that's driving that in those cities. So it's not going to fix that problem.
Right.
That's a culture thing that needs to be addressed at its root cause, which I have no, you know, room to even speak on that because I didn't come up in that environment. I don't know what it's like to live in that environment, but you can tell the environment itself is it's just a little boiling pot of just, you know, violence and chaos, and that right there needs to be addressed. Then you could really curb a lot of the gun violence if you could stop it in places like Chicago and Baltimore, New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Houston, and you can go on and on and on. You know, all these Democrat-run cities.
If you could stop all the murders and, like you said, the Democrat-run cities, it'd be amazing. The numbers would be, I mean,
they would plummet.
Tiny, dude, tiny.
They'd plummet. I'm telling you, if you looked up the stats, and if you got rid of that, the violence that goes on in these cities, dude, you would think it's the most peaceful country on earth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
it's that bad, and I know because we are 20 minutes away from a place that used to brag about being the murder capital of the world.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm not,
and it
not
wasn't
like
mass shootings.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I'm saying brag. It wasn't like the leaders of the city were bragging, but it was a big part of the music scene and what was happening in New Orleans. It was just a bragging thing to these young kids in New Orleans that we kill at will, you know. Yep. 600 murders, you know, we're the murder capital. Don't come around here fucking, you know how it is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just right there. And that's going on all over the country. So you cut that shit out. You find out, you know, how to stop that, which I think is an impossible task now. I think a lot of these cities are too far gone. I just don't think there's much you can do, you know, because they done ran everybody out of a lot of these cities that would even stand a chance to change this.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's done.
I think they need to start with defunding the police.
That would probably help.
That would,
get all the yes, defund the cops is a big one.
Yes, that would definitely bring down the homicide rate in these big cities.
Yep.
You know,
I've seen you know, switching gears here. They apparently were voting in the House today to pass the Protect Children's Innocence Act, which would make it a felony to perform genital mutilation surgeries or provide puberty blockers and hormone therapy to minors. It passed in the House. So, you know, hopefully the Senate be able to do what they got to do with it. But there were 213 yay on the Republican side, 4 nays. And then, of course, 207 nays on the Democratic side and 3 yays, you know.
Isn't that nice?
And it's like, who is voting no against this shit? Like, imagine that bill being in front of your face and you're like, I just don't see no problem with them, you know, mutilating children. I just don't. What's the big deal?
That's basically what it is. Yeah.
It's crazy to think that this is an argument in this country. You know, it's nuts. Like that shouldn't even. It shouldn't even be a fucking discussion, really. But we're at that point now where it has to be discussed and voted on. Okay, fine, let's vote on it. And then you got over 200 of these motherfuckers are like, nah, I'm cool with it. You know,
let's just
like what are we doing?
We're in a weird spot, dude.
It's fucking nuts, man.
About that.
I don't get half the fucking arguments that are happening in this country right now. Honestly, I just don't understand where the other side is coming from.
Is thinking, yeah, I'm with you. And look, in their defense, they think that about the other side, whether you want to say it's our side or whatever. I don't like to claim a side, but if I got to pick one, it ain't gonna be the left. Let's put it that way. So, you know, but they say the same thing. They just cannot believe how conservatives or Republicans, whatever you want to call them, how they think about things. So we're both looking at each other like these motherfuckers are crazy. Yeah. I just thought we were all on the same page when it came to protecting children. I thought we were there as a country, you know, that is the most vulnerable part of our society are, you know, these innocent children. And we won't allow them. And it's the whole thing that's been, you know, I'm not the first one to say it. You've heard it a million times, but you can't even go get a tattoo until you're 18, but you can change your gender. make a life-altering fucking decision like that, and these people are okay with it. All of a sudden, kids, they have the mentality now to make that choice. But these are the same people that will sit there and bitch about gun laws because it's protecting children, drug laws because it's protecting children. Right. Well, what about the ones that's fucking them up for life? And then they make these rash decisions as children, and then they become adults and regret everything they fucking did. And that's why the rate of suicide is so high in that community. There's something wrong. And instead of getting to the bottom of why do you feel like you're in the wrong body to start with, let's get to that. It's not, let's jump to changing your fucking, your sex all of a sudden. And YouTube would probably pull us down for talking about this, but it's just so, I just can't wrap my head around that thinking of adults who go along with this shit and think it's okay. It's just so, it's weird. I'll never understand it.
I don't get it either. It might make good content though. We could all just go and transition
and get transition.
Do it live. It would just be women tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, you start, Justin. Let us know how it works out, and then we might join in. I ain't decided.
Let's do it, man. I'm gonna schedule my appointment tomorrow.
There you go.
Now, I want to show you. I want to show you the 3 cops who were unfortunate enough to be in the worst training academy ever. So let's check this out real quick, everybody.
See what you got.
Let's see. Look, watch this. One guy, 3 police officers. Oh, stuck her. Hey, look, he's gone. They don't know what to do. They don't even look. Like,
damn.
Who the fuck's training these people?
Wow.
Jesus.
All they could think to do is call for backup when there's 3 of them. That is the worst. I mean, you talk about 3 people that just don't need to be, they don't have any business being law enforcement at all.
We need
help.
What I mean? That's why they're on bicycles.
Well, I'll say for the record, we're very pro law enforcement but not those.
Not those ones.
Not those. So anyway, I thought that was funny. I was just scrolling X and saw that, and I was like, geez. I'm like, how does that, I don't know. I couldn't imagine being one of them cops. Like, damn, we let that dude handle all of us. Like, just chin checking every single one of them, man.
I'd just go home and never come back.
Yeah, I'd find
maybe we're not talking about this tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, let's see. Doctors urge caution as THC levels climb. For physicians like myself working in treatment centers on a daily basis, we are seeing patients with no psychotic disorder coming in with high levels of THC with psychosis induced by the substance THC. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the war that's going on with this stuff right now. And every time I get on X or somewhere, I'm starting to see more and more of that, where there's some doctor somewhere that's telling you now how bad this shit is for you. And it just happens to coincide with Trump lowering that schedule on it, I just think it's a very odd thing going on right now. Not to jump back all on the marijuana stuff. I just happened to see that while I was scrolling, but it's nuts, man. Now, New York AG, James there. This is what she tweeted out on X. Okay. I'll share it. I'll put it on the screen and share it with you. And we're going to break this ignorance down, okay? So
I like it.
We secured $9 million from Hyundai and Kia for failing to protect their cars from theft. Their reckless decision to forego basic anti-theft measures led to car thefts with deadly consequences. Now, the companies must take measures to protect their vehicles from theft. Sounds great on the surface, right? Yeah, let's all do what we can. And then you start thinking, like your boy says here, these fucking idiots are blaming the fucking car basically for these idiots running loose wild in their fucking cities because there's no fucking laws over there. You know? So instead of saying we need to figure out how to stop the youth from wanting to go out and steal fucking cars all the time, let's blame the car manufacturers. This is the ignorance that comes from these fucking Democrats.
You never go to the source. You always find something else to blame, dude. Absolutely.
It's as bad as blaming the gun. It's as bad as blaming the fucking guns. It's so stupid.
And I was gonna say that I would almost kind of be behind that. Just because Kia was I mean, almost reckless with how easy it was to steal their fucking cars, and they did nothing
and I
about
get
it,
her
right?
point.
But
Right.
where is that money going? It's not going to the fucking owners of the car that got their shit stolen.
No.
I guarantee it's
not.
going straight
Not
to the
at all.
fucking city,
And
like
then-
they were harmed.
Well, and it goes back to why the crime and everything runs rampant in places like this woman controls, because there's no accountability.
Exactly.
Not once did she mention how bad it was that people were even stealing these fucking cars left and right.
Dude.
It's all about, well, they were able to do it. So who gives a fuck? I'm able to do a lot of things that are illegal, but I don't do them. You know what I mean? It's such a dumb argument, but I guess that's all you can expect from these fucking people at this point. I don't know. It blows my mind the way that their brains think. And these are elected officials supposed to be educated, leading people. You know what I mean?
It's the constituents, dude.
I do really wonder where that money's going.
Where the money's going? Yeah, well, I'm sure to her campaign or something. There ain't no telling.
And then
Kia, $9 million.
Yeah, and then Kia will be, it's going to cost you more money to get a Kia now, dude. So.
That's true. They're gonna. It's gonna cost like a Mercedes now until they make back that money. I didn't even know this was a thing on Netflix. So go ahead. Sorry, I'm shifting gears that quick again. But Netflix cancels gay military series called Boots that the Pentagon called woke garbage. I didn't even know it was a thing, but apparently there was just a bunch of gayness and military and shit going on with Netflix, and people were like, "Yeah, I'm good. I don't."
It's like Brokeback Army Rangers, dude.
Yeah, so apparently it wasn't a hit.
Is it taken down already? I'm gonna have to binge.
You're gonna go check it out. You're gonna go binge watch it.
Jesus. Sounds like
go binge watch it tonight, dude. Let me know what it was all about.
I'll come back with a report.
Now, I want to say, getting with politics here, if we could get this going on in our country, I just think we could get a lot more youth involved, because it makes it way more exciting. Check it out. So over there in Mexico, this is how they roll. Just, bitch, get off me.
Get off me,
slapping,
bitch.
hair pulling. This dude's loving every minute of it. It's nothing but women surrounding.
They're finally touching me.
See, this is what we need over here. I don't even know what they're fighting over, and I don't care. I just think we need to see more of that.
Hell yeah.
Whenever they're debating and whenever Congress is debating over here, it would be amazing.
Really? I think.
Look, they're just in awe.
Yeah, dude. We just make the yays fight the nays.
Now they're just saying a bunch of shit. I don't know.
Y compañeros.
These crazy bitches.
Por favor.
What he said.
Yeah, these crazy bitches sit down. That's what. So anyway, yeah, if we can get that going over here, dude, I swear it could be a pay-per-view thing. Congress is back at it tonight. There's going to be a fight. Let's go. But it's not that exciting here. It's just a bunch of, people raise their voices a little bit and shake their fingers.
Everybody would pay attention if they promoted it like a UFC event, dude.
I honestly don't believe anybody in our government really believes wholeheartedly enough in what they're saying to let emotions get that high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're all up there in this big show anyway. So nobody's really committed to what they're preaching. That's why you don't see more of this in our country. Because when you really, when you're really hardcore and you believe something and somebody's up there opposing you and tempers get flaring and, I just think we'd have more outbursts over here if they actually really did care about what they're fucking pushing. But I don't think I think it's all bullshit over here anyway.
I think it's
all
all
staged
rehearsed.
drama.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
It is. It's just a bunch
in the
of
back
drama.
room, cocktail hour, where they're all rubbing elbows and talking, and
Yep.
that was a good one. You did a good one. Yeah, that's great. And we'll do that tomorrow, Make the American people think that we're really fighting for them, where they could really give a shit less about you,
Exactly. Like, hey, remember the cameras are going to be on, so I'm going to have to yell at you a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, yeah, well, and look, I'm gonna call you this. I'm telling you, it's like it's WWE, man. That's all it is.
Took the words out my mouth, dude.
Yeah, that's all it is, man, and it works because people get caught up in it.
Yep.
And then we start thinking that so and so's fighting for us up there. Did you hear what he said? He told fucking AOC this, and it's like okay, I mean it amounts to nothing. Yeah. So anyway. So, Justin or Brad, either one who wants to answer me. Oh, wait, we got to hold on. Let me get to this comment. You're describing a Republican Party that uniquely hate their voter base. I don't think either side gives two shits. See, that's part of the problem there is people pick this side like their side's the good side. This ain't Star Wars. It's like there ain't no good fight. They're all fucking bad, you know. They
horrible.
Just sometimes you try to pick the lesser of two evils, but they're all pieces of shit, you know. That's the way I say it. What's up, deplorable veteran? Hadn't seen him in a while.
What's up, brother?
Yep. That's why you now see. That's why you now see garbage all over America. Now they like to throw their plate lunchbox out on. Well, what?
I think they were talking about like taco trucks or something.
Oh, they in the comments talking.
Yeah.
Well, y'all keep it going, but
yeah, that's not for you, man.
Yeah. Did you see that sweet elderly lady working at Target that got berated by that dumb cunt because she was wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt while she was at work?
I didn't see it, but I heard a little bit about it. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go ahead.
I saw a
and
still
watch
picture.
It is
No,
off.
fuck
the
that.
cuff. Yeah.
We're gonna watch it right now,
Yes.
guys. Bam.
Oh, this poor lady.
Now check it out.
Why? They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes.
So,
Why? Why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt?
Look how sweet that little lady is, being nice.
It's not
It's a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be a.
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go
over
get
it.
your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable.
She needs to be put back
Unfucking
in the
acceptable.
kitchen, dude.
That's your opinion.
No,
That
the
bitch needs to
opinion
be
is
put in
he's
a
a fucking
concentration
racist and
camp.
you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am. Have
And
a
you
nice
shouldn't.
day.
You should not be allowed to wear that.
Have
This
a
is going
nice-
to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane.
Goodness.
Have a
Insane.
nice day.
Now, imagine in your warped fucking mind, like a lot of these liberals are, these disgusting, vile fucking creatures like her, think it's okay to speak to an elderly,
Absolutely.
any of your elder in that manner. That is fucking disgusting. I don't know where we've gotten to in this country politically where people think that's okay. Like, why would you ever think it's okay to talk to an older lady like that? When you see the woman that was doing it, you know, they don't show it in the video, but she was a younger lady. You know, she looked to be in her, I don't know, maybe 30, you know, getting her little views for her TikTok channel, which has been pulled down because of the fucking backlash,
Good.
you know. But I'm like, these people are so fucking disgusting. You know what I mean? I'm so tired of people giving them a break, you know, and there is nothing right about this. I don't give a fuck how you lean politically, you know, and I don't give a fuck what kind of shirt she was wearing, you know. It could be a shirt with, you know, fuck white guys, you know, I hate them.
Right.
I would walk by her and just be like, oh, fuck, I don't know what her problem is with white guys, but I would never in my fucking life think to walk up to anybody like that in that age and say the type of shit that stupid bitch was saying to her. So from, you know, BSing with the guys to her, fuck you, you whore. Don't talk to people like that.
Yeah.
So
Get your ass back in the kitchen.
it pissed me off, man, because like I said, all because she's wearing a fucking Charlie Kirk shirt, you know, that's how the rhetoric, that's what got Charlie Kirk killed, was the bullshit like that these people think it's okay to do that to people because they're quote unquote evil and they're supporting, you know, a racist, and that's the worst thing you can fucking do. So now you deserve anything I'm going to throw at you. That's where we're at. And they've been able to get away with it. And it's time that the shit stop. And I wish somebody would have been around besides that older lady who would have put this stupid bitch in her place. You know what I mean? It's a shame you go picking on people like that to get your fucking internet views, you know? And from what I understand, they started a give, send, go for this lady. and she's got over $100,000 the last I saw, and that was
Yeah.
hours ago. You know, so I hope she raises $1 million fucking dollars. I hope she can retire, and I hope that dumb cunt that did this never ever gets back on social media. I hope it ruined everything she had going for her on TikTok or wherever the fuck she was trying to be this asshole content creator. Which, looking back at her history, she's one of these woke white that really overdoes the racism thing. We're going to stop racism and racism. And the ones that are just so like, you just want to tell them, shut the fuck up. We get it. You're not racist. We get it. It's not okay for them to just not be racist. They have to stand there, these fucking liberal white women, and on the top of these fucking mountains and scream it every day, and then approach people like this who they assume are racist because they support somebody that they don't fucking like. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to just sit here and turn the other cheek and put up with it. Fuck her. You know what I mean? I wish that old lady had a little more fire in her, would have slapped the shit out of her. It's nonsense, man. Just like Matt said, it's fucking nonsense. And I'm so sick of putting up with that shit and watching how these fucking sick liberals act. Like I said, it's the same thing that got Charlie Kirk shot, was this kind of bullshit of painting one side so fucking evil like they deserve this treatment, Fuck them. Approach me in a fucking Target like that. Anybody. Fuck them,
Dude, I wish I had enough money to, like, not need to work, because I would just apply to, just minimum wage jobs in liberal states just to, do shit like that and trigger
just to
liberals all
just
day
to,
long.
Yeah.
And just be able to say whatever the fuck I want because I don't need this fucking job.
You just walk around in Portland with a Charlie Kirk or a Trump shirt on, just fucking, working somewhere. Like you said, I don't need this job anyway, just waiting for some stupid bitch like that to approach you. That would be a hell of a, you could start a whole
hey,
fucking
bitch, you talking to me? You fucking talking to me, bitch?
And like I said, I'm so tired of, we've gotten to a point where people think that's okay. Like this woman, she thought there was nothing of doing this to that lady. Nothing. Until the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When the shit hit the fan, all of a sudden she's disappearing off of social media. It's like, where the fuck were you? That wasn't the fucking energy you were using when you were in that fucking old lady's face.
Absolutely.
Now all of a sudden the heat comes and you want to get off of social media.
Yep.
But it's because they've been trained to think that fucking behavior is okay. And it's not, especially when it's an elder lady like that just trying to do her fucking job, and you don't like Charlie Kirk. Well, fuck you, And
that's not her first time, I'm sure,
Fuck no, that bitch runs around looking for that shit, But you notice who she picks on.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Stupid ass. I wish I knew that bitch, because I was hot when I saw that last night. I'm
What
like,
state
this
was that, dude?
like California, of course.
Oh, yeah, go figure.
Yeah, California. But it shouldn't matter. But yeah, it's expected. It's expected. And kudos to that old lady, how she handled it. It's just, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm not going to argue with you. And you could tell that woman wanted no fucking. She didn't want no part of that drama. Now, even if you got it in your mind to approach that lady. Let's say we say, okay, well, it's okay that she even went and approached her. Well, once you, it's like, read the room. Once you see that her demeanor is not confrontational, like she doesn't want any part of this, well, shut the fuck up and leave then. Stop being a fucking bully. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, what do you get out of bullying that old lady? Just all for fucking, for clicks on a goddamn social media platform. That's all that was about, But like I said, you look back at this lady's fucking, what she's been into, this younger lady that videoed this, and she's one of them fucking woke garbage fucking people that just, gotta let you know every day of their fucking life how racist they're not. Like, shut the fuck up,
how miserable they truly are,
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised Target did let her wear the freedom
I am
shirt,
too,
though.
honestly. I am too, because I know in the video she said that as long as it's a red shirt, they allow it. I was shocked too that they would even allow it. They may not anymore, but but yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, well, damn, I didn't even think Target would let you wear anything outside of a Target shirt or just a plain red one, so, but maybe she deserved what she got, I mean, is that where you're going with this?
Seeing it at a Target? No, because Jesus, if you want to meat some liberals, go to fucking Target. So
Bro,
that's what
lying.
surprises
and it don't
me
matter.
that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it don't matter where you go because we're in the deep South down here, and
Yeah.
it's far from liberal. But goddamn, I walk into a Target around here, and I think I entered fucking Portland. It's crazy, dude.
I'm telling
The
you, that's the
last
last
time
thing I'd expect to see.
The last time I was ever in that Target was a couple years ago, and there was a dude with a beard and a dress stocking the fucking shelf, and I'm like, nope, I ain't coming back. I'm not coming back. Fuck you. Call me what you want. I'm not shopping in here. You know. Now, did I go approach this guy and say, "What the fuck are you doing wearing a dress?"
Right.
You know,
should've.
no. I went on about. I should. Yeah, you're right. You're right, because that's the way they would act. You know, had I had a Trump hat on, that piece of shit probably would have looked at me like I was fucking, you know, the devil walking through the door. But I didn't say shit. I went on about my business, got what I had to get, and then I was like, I ain't coming back in this motherfucker ever again. You know, the beard and the dress thing throws me off every time. I'm sorry. You know, I guess it's bigoted, I guess, or whatever. But it just
May have just been a lady with a beard,
It's
dude.
not.
it could have been.
Bigoted.
Could have been high T levels. You know, it happens. You know, kind of like that boxer that in the Olympics that they were claiming. You know, not a dude. It's just got a lot of testosterone and balls. So, but it's not a guy.
Shit happens, dude. You know, fuck.
Somebody pulled a fine ass woman in Walmart. You sure it was a woman, huh?
She's probably
Yeah,
real
watch
classy.
it. Yeah, that's where all the classy ones go. Fuck, I go to Walmart, but I'm not classy, so what are we doing here? Oh Lord, we're gonna get on some treading dangerous waters here. Yeah. This trans thing is so unfair to masculine women. It is because everybody thinks you're a fucking dude. I mean, but which look, to each their own, whatever. But you know, I'm playing around and all, but honestly, when I did see that person in Target, the last thing I thought was to go verbally fucking assault them.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's just not what we do. You just go on about your business. You let that person do what they do. And if you choose not to be around that, don't be around it. That's how that woman could have been like, look, I'm not shopping at this Target no more. There was a woman in there wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt, so I'm not going there no more. Okay.
Right.
Well, fuck, don't go. You know, it should have been that simple instead of approaching that little old lady like that and talking to her that way. It's bullshit.
Total.
But I hope, like I said, I hope she raises $1 million fucking dollars, and I hope the other girl loses her job and everything else she had going. Because that's the only way you're going to stop this nonsense, is there has to be some consequences.
Yep.
Now, if you turn around and punch one of them in the fucking mouth, you're going to jail, you know, because all they're doing is talking to you. And so now you get physical with them and slap the fuck out of one of them. Now, all of a sudden, you're in jail. So, but there has to be some sort of consequences, and they'll knock that shit off.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Brad has no faith. They're
None
that
at all
fucking
with them.
dirty, huh?
They fucking crazy. Crazy.
That
people,
they
dude.
are. That they are. I'm sorry. I'm giving them hell. I couldn't help it. I
Good.
couldn't help it. That one had me fired up, man. Because if that was my mother, my grandmother, or something like that, and she comes home telling me some woke white bitch was all up in her face, cussing at her over a shirt she was wearing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The harm you'd want to do to that person. I mean, it's like,
Can you imagine? Yeah.
whatever. Speaking of them people,
Yes.
they found one shoving fucking razor blades and like grocery store
heard
like
about that.
bread.
Yeah.
You saw that, huh?
God.
Let's see what that was all about. Female accused of inserting razor blades into grocery items hit with $100,000 bond. A female accused of Biloxi, Mississippi. Camille Benson. See, and I heard another one was going on in Texas too.
Really?
And that one was a trans person. Yeah.
Damn,
That's
I heard
what I
about the
thought
one in
this one was.
Mississippi.
Yeah, but this is a different one. Oh, she's of Texas. Okay, I'm sorry. She was in Mississippi. The last article I read said it was in Texas, but no, she's from Texas, charged with attempted mayhem. And see, that's what they needed to charge them assholes with that were licking that ice cream. Remember that trend a while back?
Oh, yeah.
The motherfuckers were videoing themselves licking ice cream and putting it back on the shelf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
That's disgusting, dude.
It really is. Oh, man. But this bitch was putting razor blades and stuff. Now, she looks loony as shit.
I'm sure.
But, So, anyway, that's another one. I'm sure just, registered Republican, probably a Trump voter, right?
Probably.
It's that white supremacy
That's
we're
them.
all hearing about.
It is.
Yeah, look,
It is.
Well, look, I'll show you the, this is the white supremacy that they were talking about is just running this country down right here. This is it right here. So there you go. You know, this is what the politicians are saying is the biggest threat to the nation right now is the white supremacy because they're, you know, apparently running around putting razor blades and shit. So that's their white supremacy. Fucking
Probably
idiots.
meet her at the Klan meeting, dude.
Yeah, she was there. She'll be
She
there.
was there.
Did you know you could get bussy at Starbucks?
You can get what?
Bussy, dude.
Bussy?
some
What is a
bussy.
what is a bussy? I have to ask my old lady. Hey, can I go to Starbucks to get some bussy?
See how that goes.
What is
Going to get
what
some
is
bussy.
a bussy?
It's a
What the
brown
fuck is
sugar
that?
shaken espresso is what it is, but
Oh, okay.
it's
Well,
not where the term originated. But yeah,
okay.
so you can go to Starbucks, be like, hey, what's up, pal? Let me get some of that bussy.
Yeah, let me get some of that.
Give it up.
Yeah, I never heard. Let's bombshell report here. Now I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of sympathy coming our way.
Okay.
Says companies did everything they could to avoid hiring white millennial men over the last decade. The woke era, it was real in America, and we all know who it came after the hardest. Yes, this report is an important reminder of what happens when you single out a group of people, cis white males, and pretend the whole time like you're simply propping up minorities to hide the fact that you're singling out white men and bringing them down. Now, this is courtesy of
CNN, right?
No, not at all. But you know, it's like they say, it was a funny joke at the time that, you know, quote, white men have it bad and it's a tough time to be a straight white male in America. But it turns out those jokes were funny because they were true. So, but they did really, it's a real article though, but they did do a little internal investigation, and they seen, which we all knew it, you know, it was,
Right.
I know people in certain corporations and all that they have been told that when it's time to hire for a certain position that we have enough white people, we need to look for a minority.
Yeah.
It's not even go through the applications and find the one best suited. It's make sure you don't hire a white person because we have enough already. And
Right.
I'm like, that, you know, I don't give a fuck what race that's directed towards. I mean, it wasn't right when they were doing it against minorities back in the day, and it's not right now. I mean, that they're doing it against white people, or, you know, whoever they decide to do it to. But it gets justified in a lot of people's minds. You know, like it's basically, a lot of people look at it like, well, now it's y'all's turn. Like, what the fuck did I do? You know,
Yeah.
what did my son do that's coming up in this bullshit? You know, but they don't look at it like that. They look at it,
No.
well, y'all have had it good enough for too long. So now, fuck you. We're going to start with this DEI bullshit, you know, and that's
Yeah.
all that is. It all equals that diversity nonsense, you know.
I wish they would come with force and try to, you know, enact the y'all's turn shit. They
Nope.
trying to do it all through the paperwork and shit. It's like, no, come on.
Well, it's just a
some-
shame. Like, honestly, I mean, and it's, like I said, it's just as bad as when people were getting passed up due to the color of their skin, you know, years ago when it was happening, before affirmative action. Like, you know, not that was good at all, but returning the favor to people that had nothing to do with it is not the right way to handle that. You know, it's
Right.
this overcorrecting of the wrongs that happened in the country where it gets out of hand. You know, and it just,
Yeah.
but it just seems justified in a lot of people's minds because there's people that'll hear what I'm saying right here and be like, so what? You know, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's so what until that motherfucker's flying your plane.
That's what I was about to
They
say.
don't
I
have the
say,
best
fuck it.
pilot of it.
I say let it happen, and the corporations will start crumbling because they're going to be
Yeah.
being ran wrong. And
Well, and
fuck it.
honestly, there were a lot of them that come out and they started getting rid of their little diversity department shit, you know, their DEI stuff, because they saw where it was going. They jumped on board while they needed to look good, to virtue signal, like, hey, look at us, you know, we're good. But then when the bottom line came and they realized it's not very good to the bottom line, and once the kind of, you know, the real hardcore wokeness died down, then they all kind of backed out of that DEI hire and shit. Not that it's still going on, believe me, but a lot of them did drop out of that, because if you can't run a company and really believe the best idea is to put people in certain positions based on their gender, their sexuality, their race. You cannot believe that and run a successful company.
No.
You know, so I think their hands were forced for a while to do it. But then I think they were like, okay, we got to get back to business now. Like, let's just put people in places where they belong because of what they can do for us. You know,
Yeah.
I would hope at least that that's how they're looking at it now.
Yeah.
The fuck do I know? I'm an idiot from Louisiana. So
You're talking about virtue signaling. I love when companies forget to like change their profile picture for Gay Pride Month or whatever until they get called out
they
and
get
they're like,
blasted,
oh, here's your
yeah.
flag. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you really give a fuck about Gay Pride Month. Like,
no,
okay.
the funny thing is they really get called out for it too. You
Oh, they
know?
do.
I mean, people look for it. You know, like Target didn't change their profile picture to rainbows, or
Yep.
you know, back in the day, you had to have a solid black profile thing when all the BLM shit was going on. You know,
Yeah.
you had to change your profile picture to that, or you're just a terrible person. You know. But I'm with you. I think it's funny when they forget to do it and they're like, oh shit, you know. So then they probably fire the social media fucking person. You know, like. It's so dumb, man. It's like, just stay out of all that as businesses. Stay out of all of it, you know?
That's it.
Don't put fucking BLM. Don't put the pride shit. Don't put Trump up there. Don't, just leave it the fuck alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're
You
a
know?
company. We're not voting on politics. So
And the bad thing is it only takes one big one to do it, and then the rest feel like they have to follow suit because then
Right.
they start getting called out. So if they would, you know, somebody wouldn't start it, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when Walmart does it, now fucking Target has to do it, and then Target does it, and fucking Ross feel like they have to do it, and you know, and the next thing you know, Buffalo Wild Wings has got, you know, it's dumb, man. It just, everybody feels like they have to do it because just like you mentioned, they get called out if they don't. You know.
yeah.
What's up, little girl? So anyway, what time is it?
Oh,
9:49. Plenty of time. What else can we get
9:49.
into? Do you remember them two teenage assholes? I got the video. I just don't know if we can play it on here, but they were driving down the road. They stole a car, probably a Kia, because, you know, those are easy to
Probably.
steal.
Mhm.
But they came up behind that guy that was on his bicycle and mowed him down while they were videoing it.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they were
20-year-old,
talking about it. They were like,
18-year-old.
hit him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're set to be sentenced. It just kind of popped up on my timeline. Looks like they, you know, they pled guilty to murder, of course. But,
That's fair.
yeah, and I'm watching the video and I'm thinking it's another one of those things where I start kind of trying to rationalize it. Not what they did, but like, well, let me see. Well, what were they thinking about? But then I'm like, how the fuck does anybody come to that conclusion that this is what we need to be out here doing right now? And videoing it,
Yeah.
you know?
And then posting it.
Yeah, and this ties back into, because it was a Hyundai Elantra that they stole, and of course there's a lawsuit going on from the family of the guy that got run over. They filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Hyundai, saying that they were too easy to steal, so these teens had too easy access to this car. Again, it goes back to you're throwing the blame at the wrong place. And look, these kids are going to face the consequences, so it's not like they're getting off.
Right.
But I just don't. I don't know. I mean, is it that fucking easy to steal a Hyundai?
Yeah.
How easy is it? I'm
A
gonna try it.
USB. You pull off the bottom of the steering column and you can yank the where the key would go in. You yank it out and it's a perfect square for a USB to fit in, the fat old like USBs, and you just stick it in and turn and it'll start the car.
Well, is that any easier than when they used to rip the column out and hotwire it?
Well,
I mean, is
no, but every other car manufacturer besides Hyundai and Kia has, you know, immobilizers and shit like that. Kia doesn't.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
torn
they
on
do
that, man.
now.
I'm
They
blaming-
finally got enough backlash because they knew
Well,
about it. I
yeah.
think the problem was they knew about it for a while. Like it wasn't like a
Right.
thing that popped up. People found out, and then Kia swapped it, and now everybody's freaking out. Like, oh, well, any crimes that went down from the old Kias, but it was a thing for a while.
Well, because Kia's probably thinking like I was, like, well, tell these dumb motherfuckers stop stealing cars. I mean, but no, it probably cost them a shit ton of money to have to go back and you know, and change something like that, because changing anything on a car isn't cheap. You know what I mean? I know it sounds simple and mundane, but it's a big undertaking. That's, you know, Elon explained that a while back, that just the whole process of manufacturing a car, that's why you don't see a lot of companies that are in it that stay. It's hard to have a startup car company nowadays because it's just
Absolutely.
astronomical.
Oh,
You
I
know what I
can
mean? The
imagine.
cost. So just changing little parts and design features and all, it gets millions and millions of dollars.
I
So-
just don't know why they didn't put some sort of immobilizer in it. Like my car, right? My key fob, if the battery starts running a little bit low, my car it'll let me put the key in and go to start it, but it thinks I'm trying to steal it. So it'll shut the whole fucking car down.
Yeah.
And then I have to keep the key next to the car for like 25 minutes so that it can like relearn each other, and then it'll let me start the car. But yeah, so even my own fucking key won't start my car sometimes because it thinks I'm trying to steal it.
Well, and look, I like the point that he's making right here in the comments that I pulled up, that Korea, it could be that they're not taking into consideration that these fucking places, in these inner cities in this fucking country, how bad they are, because they don't have a big problem with that over there.
Right.
Now, once they knew it was an issue, I guess maybe address it, but I just have a problem. I think it's a slippery slope we go down when you start being able to hold manufacturers are
accountable.
accountable for people's actions. That's no different than them suing manufacturers of AR-15s when they have a school shooting. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any difference myself. Now, maybe there is.
But,
I said, I'm not the brightest star in the sky, but I don't see how you can sue companies when people do stupid shit with your product.
But I guess
that it wasn't intended for.
But the Kias weren't working as designed, I guess. Like they weren't meant to be able to just be in 5 minutes started with a USB stick, and they were.
Right.
So it was a manufacturing flaw.
So what is
whereas like a mass shooting, like the AR-15 worked like it was supposed to.
So what does the USB stick have to do with it? The shape
because
of it?
the shape.
Oh, so it didn't have to be it could have been a popsicle stick. It just
anything the same shape. It fit perfectly into, once you take out the ignition lock behind it. So, your ignition cylinder, it's got a little, metal stick that sticks off of it, and that goes into another slot. And the only thing stopping it from rotating is your key. It's got to be the right key.
Huh.
Well, you could rip out the fucking cylinder and then, stick a USB in it, and it fit perfectly into that slot, and just turn it and go.
I'm gonna have to find somebody with a Hyundai. I don't know any poor people, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. If you got a, I'm just joking. No, I don't know. I really do. I like, man, I want to try this out. Like, it's crazy, but in all seriousness, man, I don't know. I don't know if that's a legal battle they'll be able to win, because, like I said, it sets a bad precedent, man. It
Absolutely
really does when you can start suing manufacturers for people doing stupid shit with their products, man. I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Matt? Matt said, I'm poor. Can I borrow your Hyundai to see if I can steal it?
Yeah, I kind of look at the Kia thing as like any other product that like hurts somebody doing something it wasn't intended to do. Like when fucking candies go rogue or something like that, kid fucking hurts themselves or kills themselves with it, and then the manufacturer gets sued. It's like, well, somebody did something fucking stupid with it.
Right. I see what you're saying. They have recalls on things for a reason, because shit's fucking up when it shouldn't be. Something's wrong with the product.
Right.
And I guess
think
if they
that
can
was the
prove
biggest
that.
problem is Kia knew it for a while. They knew it for a while, and they didn't recall it, and eventually they kind of got backed into a corner, and they did a recall where they would. I think they were giving away free steering wheel locks, the ones with the key that expand.
Yeah, they were.
They were giving those if you went to the dealership, and then I think they fixed it now. But
yeah, I guess what I don't like about it, I see your points, and they're very valid points. I don't like when the politicians address it in a way that doesn't even shine a negative light on the people that are stealing the cars.
Yeah.
Like that one did in New York. It's all about, the money that they're going to get out of Hyundai. And never once do they mention that somebody needs to figure out why these little badass kids are running around these cities stealing cars in the beginning. Because I've been a little kid. Never once was I out there running around stealing fucking cars.
No.
You know what I mean? And look, I get it. I come up in a different environment, but that needs to be addressed, and you can't just overlook that. But the politicians in those cities love to do that. They pass the blame, and that's where I start to kind of, align that with when they want to put it on the AR-15 manufacturers when there's a school shooting.
Yeah.
I just think you start doing that, and it becomes a habit to these fucking people that they don't want to blame the source of the fucking problem. But I get your point. I mean, if it's a fuck up in a design or something, then it needs to be addressed, and somebody needs to be held accountable because it has caused deaths. I mean, they ran this fucking dude over.
And I think she knows what she was doing with how she explained it, because nobody's suing Dodge. Chargers get stolen all fucking day long. It's not a design flaw. It's just, people have gotten good with electronics and figured it out. Nobody's suing Chevy for when their shit gets stolen, Right. So she didn't explain it like that. And like I said, I think she knew what she was doing, but. Yeah.
Well, let's see. They could have solved this with a legal notice on the door. Do not leave unattended in a low trust society. Oh my God. But that's when these social justice warriors would come fucking crawl. Like, what do you mean? What are you saying? Geez. Black communities? You know where that's going. Like, you call it what the fuck you want. Wherever this community is, whatever color it is, it's got a high fucking crime rate. That's where you don't want to leave it unattended. You pick a race. Kia boys. My car got stolen by the Kia boys. I blame Hyundai. Sue them.
That's what they were. It was the Kia boys with the USB sticks riding around.
Yep. So,
isn't that crazy?
All right. Well, any more breaking news going on? They still ain't caught the guy, the mass shooter over there in the Browns College, so that's no good. Now, I did see the FBI foiled a little plot apparently that was going on in Southern California, man. What were they trying to do? Blow up some shit on New Year's Eve?
That's what it was for New Year's Eve. Huh? One of them was captured here in Louisiana, right?
I saw that, yeah. 4 alleged members of an extremist group, always seem to be that, was suspected of planning coordinated bombing attacks on New Year's Eve across Southern California. Wow. I mean, I'm trying to see, where does it get down to what kind of terror group were they a part of? The bombs were to blow up at the same time, midnight. Well, they were coordinated.
They were.
Plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs, including instructions on how to manufacture the bombs, blah, blah, blah. I mean, were they, what?
People like these pipe bombs, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
I feel like they never work.
I mean, it's got to be more of the, the Muslim shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, which I say that. I mean, they describe them as anti-capitalist, anti-government. It's a group known as the Turtle Island Liberation Front. So if you want to take them serious, you can. Well,
they had pipe bombs. So.
Yeah, but then again, I'm looking at it. One of them's named Tina Chen Ting. So doesn't sound Muslim. It sounds, Oriental to me.
Yeah.
So it looks like a mix of everybody. Nickname is Kickware.
Kickware.
The other girl's nickname was Black Moon. I mean, these people are off their fucking. They're part of a fucking group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. So, yeah, they don't even deserve the fucking coverage we're giving them. Fucking idiots. But I'm glad they stopped it, because that could have been a mess.
Why do none of the pipe bomb plans ever work out? Like, I feel like nobody's pipe bombs ever go off. Either that or they get caught.
Well, you should show them, Justin. Just give an instructional video and see how far that gets you.
I mean, I'm just saying don't make them, because they seem very ineffective.
Yeah, they do. Except for I want to say that they were throwing them in the Columbine attack, weren't they?
But none of them went off.
I think a couple of them did, didn't they? They were all duds.
I thought all the bombs. I didn't think any of the bombs went off. Maybe I'm wrong. I know their pressure cooker bombs didn't work.
Right.
Well, I know the dude that went to school with me one around here, and his worked, because he went to jail for that shit, because it like shattered house windows and car windows, and I mean it set off.
Nobody said I don't know. I heard it
like
too.
The whole block. Boo! He wound up going to jail for that shit. But anyway, President Trump signed an executive order declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. Sounds pretty serious.
Yeah.
And, the way he's saying it, this stuff is killing more people than bombs are around here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, You got to do something, man. I don't know. That shit is, man. You know, we were talking about at work today, just how simple it is for, you know, a young person to get a hold of that shit, not knowing that it's in whatever they're taking at a party. And we probably spoke about it on here before, but, you know, we all do crazy shit when we're young. You're at a party, everybody's doing this. You're like, oh, fuck it, I'll try it. And then boom, you know, you got a little piece of that shit and whatever you're messing with that night. First time doing it, and then you're dead. All because these assholes are, you know, that shit's piling in over the border. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's at least 7 or 8 people that I went to high school with that are dead now from fentanyl. And I would say, I mean, 75% of them were from either what was supposed to be a Lortab or was supposed to be a Xanax bar, and it had fentanyl in it.
Yeah. That's all. It's usually what it is. It's a pill. You know, it's a pill because the cocaine shit ain't real big with the young crowd anymore. You know what I mean? It's not it's more, like you said, taking them pills and all, man. And it's what gets them, bro. And it don't take much at all. And now that you say it, I mean, I could probably, if I thought about it, name a half a dozen people that I know directly, you know. So it's big. And that's just in our little bullshit community over here, you know. And this shit is a nationwide issue. And all they do is give Trump hell for trying to do something about it. Yeah. It's like, that's another thing, like we're protecting the children. Like, can we not just come together on that? You know, he's blowing up these fucking boats and they start crying about these poor fishermen. Like, okay, you know, like, I mean, they got 20,000 pounds of that shit on a boat. What do you want to do? You know, but that becomes an argument. It was an argument on here tonight. We talked about it, you know.
I still think they should test the purity before they blow the boat up.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think they're just wasting a lot of good shit or what?
They might be. I think if it's just pure that, you know, Colombian pow, like, yeah, look, we didn't see y'all. Y'all didn't see us. Y'all go, you know.
Brad will tell you, it ain't like back in the day.
Ain't back in the day, that's for sure.
It was a little safer. You know,
exactly.
it was a little party drug. You know, it didn't do much harm to people. And now, dude, just one little pinch of that shit. Yeah, they done fucked it up for the party animals.
It's a shame, it really is.
Well, what's going on in Venezuela, dude? Are we preparing for some hostile shit? You know, should I be getting my bunker ready?
Oh,
probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't we have a blockade going on down there? Are we blocking all the tankers and all that stuff down there?
Yeah, don't we still own a tanker?
We own a lot of shit. See, and I was listening before we got on. I was listening to Fox News talk about the amount of oil that's over there, and you know, basically the money that's being attained from all of this oil is being used for shit like, you know, for these cartels and just shit that it don't need to be going towards. Now, is that really what's going on, or is this a move to grab their oil? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think he's trying to do some good by trying to tell them, look, y'all gonna have to get a hold of these fucking cartels. Y'all need new leadership over there. What you're doing is fucking with us over here. But then that word oil comes up. You know what I mean? The oil, and then you start talking about the billions of gallons and the money, and you start hearing all this talk, and it's like it's leading back to the oil, you know, the oil. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, don't tell me we're going over here fucking with people for oil. You know, and he's lying to us. There may be fishermen on them boats that they're blowing up, you know.
Hey, it might be both. It might be like, look, we're gonna blow up your fucking drug boats if you don't let us have the oil.
Well, it might be.
They do the same shit with guns, you know. It's like, you're the bad guy unless you pay us $200, and then you can have any of these firearms you want.
Ain't no telling, but no, I like I said, I always get a little weary when I start hearing that shit with any kind of, you know, them natural fucking minerals and the oils, and it's like, 'cause that's had us in conflicts before, you know. There's a lot of it is money grabs, but
look at the
you were talking about you were talking about the blockade, and apparently there is, you know, Trump ordered a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering or leaving Venezuela. He described a massive U.S. naval armada surrounding the country. So he ain't fucking around. and warned it would grow larger. You know, Trump also designated the Maduro government as a foreign terrorist organization and demanded Venezuela return oil, land, and assets allegedly stolen from the U.S. Now, this was under Hugo Chavez back in the 2000s is what he's saying. So, like I said, he's claiming it's ours. They took it, you know. So, does that make it, I guess, justify what he's doing, you know? Now, of course, Venezuela's over there. Maduro's, he's condemning the blockade as a piracy, basically, and theft and an act of war. But then it's like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? If I'm Trump, that's what I'd tell him. Like, what are you going to do about it? You know, call it what you want, you know? So, yeah, it's crazy, dude. I always believe there's more to a lot of this shit than we'll ever understand as just,
absolutely.
the average fucking Joe, trying to make sense of all of this. I mean, I rarely believe it's just what's on the surface that's really going on. But, hey, man, if it stops some of that crap that's coming into this country from coming, then fuck it. Do what you got to do. Go get that oil, baby. Go get it.
Go get it.
So, yeah, Venezuela denies drug links and claims the U.S. aims to colonize its resources. So they're just denying. What drugs? Drugs?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What's a drug? We don't. Fucking dummy. Anyway, I think, like I said, this ain't a war they're gonna win. So
Not at all.
nope. But all right. Well, let's wrap it up. It's 10:08 our time. We appreciate y'all checking out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. And we'll be back probably Friday to talk some more shit. Matt, I see Matt in the comments. Your hat's in the mail, brother. You'll be getting it soon.
Yeah, boy.
So, until next time, guys, tell them bye.
Bye.
Peace.